Hi, I'm Danny Z. I'm an entertainer, a magician, and an escape artist. I've done over 5,000 shows worldwide in the last 20 years, and I'd like to show you how I went from doing this to this.
You can let it go.
When I was in my early 30s, I was a body piercer and a tattoo artist at a tattoo shop, and I had a problem with people who had anxiety when they came in to get something done. It didn't matter whether a tattoo or a piercing, they had lots of anxiety and they would throw up from time to time, and I didn't want to have to clean up throw up, so I had to find a way to calm them down and make them feel better before the medical procedure that we would start. So I started with a very simple magic trick. It was simply a rubber band that I hooked on my pointer finger and thumb. I would hook another rubber band behind it so it formed a link of a chain. If you rub it like this, it just pops off. And it was just enough to make them laugh or make them feel calm before we started, and it reduced how many times somebody didn't feel well. From 2 rubber bands, it ended up decks of cards, balls, all kinds of things. After leaving the audience in the tattoo shop and hitting some backyard birthday parties, the audience started to grow very, very quickly. I found myself performing magic in restaurants and then larger halls and places where companies would hire me. And in a very short time, I secured a venue in Niagara Falls, Canada, the honeymoon capital of the world. One of the things that I love to do with my audience was mentalism. I like to see inside of their mind.
Valeria.
With a V?
V.
Ooh, thank God.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. How did you do that?
I just pulled it from your mind. Thank you so much.
I always had a standard deck of cards that I would give to the audience member afterward. This is kind of how it looks. I would have a standard deck of bicycle playing cards. They're just a mixed deck of cards. I'll have one of the producers be the person on your voice. Say stop whenever you want, and don't let me influence you. Say stop. Stop. Stop right there. Okay? I'm going to show a card to the audience. I will not look. Take a look right there. You got it? Take a look right here into my eyes. Red, black, red, black, red, black. It's a red card. Heart, diamond, heart, diamond, heart, diamond. It's a heart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, J, Queen, King, Ace, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's that Ace of Hearts, just like that. The power of the subconscious mind. You took the Jack of Hearts.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Awesome. When I secured the contract with the venue that we were performing in Niagara Falls, the hotel would include my show tickets with everybody who rented a room. So because of that, we started off with 687 people a show, every show, and showcasing my unique brand of entertainment to audiences from all over the world really took my show to a brand new level, giving me an opportunity to meet people I never would have and opening up the opportunity for television.
I promise you that everything that we do is very, very real and very, very extreme. I'm going to do something so incredibly intense, something that I've never done before. I'm hoping it's going to give me the opportunity to move forward in the competition.
I had the opportunity to be seen by a casting producer for a show called Phenomenon, which was my first big break. Phenomenon was a television show about magicians, extreme people like me. It was a whole bunch of people that had the opportunity to utilize their brand of magic or entertainment and everything that they wanted to do, and anybody could submit. To cast for Phenomenon, we needed to send in a video submission or do a live Zoom style submission. There wasn't Zoom back then, but we talked to a producer online, and the lady who was my casting director, Marla Brodsky, contacted me and said, okay, Danny, we're gonna have to ask you a bunch of questions.
So we're doing a phone interview, and how that was set up is they just put a camera there, they're videoing themselves, I'm on speakerphone, I'm asking questions, we're doing a backstory type thing.
And if you have ever been involved in any TV, there's a lot of questions. They talk to you about everything, about your family, your history, the things that you need and want, and then they wrap it up. That's kind of like an interview for a job. Before the interview was over, I said, Marla, before you leave, can I do something for you?
1 more minute for me?
Of course.
Okay, can I get that easel brought out here?
She politely said, sure, expecting a trick of some form. And I said, I got here a dry erase board behind me, an easel, and I just want to ask you a couple of questions. If you could think of any card in the world, any card, ace through king, any suit, what would your favorite card be? And she said, Queen of Hearts, I guess. So I wrote that down. And then I said, if you could think of any number at all, any 4-digit number, preferably your PIN code, perhaps you could give me that number and I could write it down. And she said 1974. And I wrote that down as well. And then I said, if you had to think of a deceased loved one, could you tell me their name? And she said, Dorothy. So I wrote that down. And as I wrote it down, I turned to her and I said, Marla, before you called me, I had a package couriered to your office. If you could please look in that package. I said it had to be sent before 10 a.m. It should be in your office now.
He's like, well, I made sure they would courier it to you ASAP by 10 a.m. They guaranteed it. I paid a lot of money, this and that.
And she gets up and says, Danny, there is a package here. Yeah. And she opens it up.
Oh my God. Dorothy? No. How the did you do that?
Marla, I'll see you in LA.
It was doing something out of the box that got me my first chance to be on television and got me casted for Phenomenon. So I get the call. I'm going to Los Angeles. Well, I'm relatively unknown. I live in small town Canada and I'm flying to LA with some of the biggest names in magic. When we flew to Phenomenon, we all stayed in one hotel right on Hollywood and Highland. And there's two great things about that. The first thing was I met some of the greatest people I could have possibly have wanted to in the magic industry. The second thing was we all got to share performance tips and perform in front of the casting people. So here I am in front of the producers, freaking out, of course, and I have to do something, and they want you to do your best stuff. Well, this was one of the best things that I had done. This is a standard fork that you'd find at pretty much any greasy spoon, where if you just give it a little bit of a wave, it should slowly start to melt, even if it is just one tine at a time. So if I give it like this, I should just be able to melt it like that on the end of my finger.
Let me ask you something. If I just went and got any fork, could you do this?
Go on, Kevin.
I'm coming right back. Let's see you do it with this.
Okay, no problem.
Right here.
Okay, ready? You owe me $5.
Oh my
Goodness.
I actually performed this for Mr. Wonderful Kevin O'Leary on Canada's version of Shark Tank.
Give it back to me, pal. We'll do some more with you. You ready? There it goes. There you go.
Kevin?
Do you want more?
20%
Okay,
of his
that was
birthday.
impressive. Do more.
Is that your fork, pal?
Yeah. Very impressive. That was cool. That's very cool.
Having performed so many shows in Niagara Falls, an opportunity came to me on the anniversary of Harry Houdini performing in Niagara Falls. Somebody approached me and said, hey, can you do an escape in order to recognize this day? And I said, yes, of course. I'd never done escape before, but they didn't know that. So we did what you normally would do. We secured a helicopter, because that makes sense. And I went online and I bought a straitjacket. And having never done it before, we went to the helicopter pad. We put myself in a straitjacket. We tied a rope around my feet very poorly, and the helicopter took off. I never realized that trying to escape something like this is so much different when you're hanging. So it totally changed the dynamic of how I was going to escape. And having never done it before, it probably took me much longer than it should. When I was doing my escapes from the helicopter and we had created this video of me escaping the box, hey, I got a call from Italy's version of Italy's Got Talent. To CQ Vallis. Italy's Got Talent was a whole different thing. I was trying to go there, and I did think that it would be good for my career. I did want to take my career to another level, and the idea of going to this country and doing this would put me on a global map, or I thought so. And when we landed and they picked us up and they brought us to the set and they had a crane and everything set up, my anxiety level was so high. I went back to the hotel room and I just, for about 30 hours, practiced picking the locks. And I can say to you that my producer who was there and my wife was there, they just left me alone because I was not the best version of myself. Well, the day of the show, they bring us there. We had no rehearsal time, couldn't practice it even one time. We got there, they got the box. The producer came over and said, hey, Dan, you're up. we got in the box and it started, but I had never considered, having never done it before, what it would be like when it was hanging. When the box was hanging, it was hanging like this, and I had never done it before. So as I was escaping, I went to one side of the box, it went like this. All the chains and the shackles that I had escaped from went against me, and I thought that the box was gonna fall, and I straightened myself up. Around my waist was a safety line that I had to reach up and clip. And with the chains wrapped around it, I had to untangle it. And it was 1 minute to escape, and we're at like 55, 56, and I'm pulling the chains off of it, 57, 58, and I stand up, and because the box tips, I'm about 18 inches short of the safety line to clip the hook. 59. So all I could do was jump. I just jumped and clipped. And when I jumped and clipped, I fell to the maximum part of the safety line, and it yanked me back up, and I broke my collarbone and my shoulder and one of my ribs from the impact. And I just held on and cried until they set me to the ground. And when I got to the ground, I had completed my first real death-defying escape. And my career changed after that. Phone rang a lot after that. I've done Australia's Got Talent, America's Got Talent Extreme, Canada's Got Talent, Italy's Got Talent All Stars, Holland's Got Talent, and many, many more. I think we're at about 15 now, and I know I have a few more coming down this year.
When it crashed, it was one of the scariest things, honestly, I've ever seen. So I would love to be able to say yes.
I gotta wrap things up because tomorrow I fly to Disney to do a show. My career has just taken me worldwide. Well, that's my story. And if you'd like to see more of my story, please subscribe.